What's good? It's Wood. I want to talk a little Greta Kline, aka Frankie Cosmos. She's an indie singer, and she's been around, probably around a decade now. She was initially recording under the name Ingrid Superstar. She was recording a lot of music and just putting it out on Bandcamp. And it wasn't until like 2013, 2014 that she started recording under the name Frankie Cosmos. She is the daughter of two actors, Kevin Kline and Phoebe Cates. And so, Frankie Cosmos, by the time she was like 21, 22, she's now 28 years old, but she was dropping these albums that were getting, they were getting pitchfork love, I would say, where you're getting rated like 8 or above. I think Zentropy in 2014 was one of them. And there was an album in 2016 called Next Thing with like a really nice song called like On the Lips. And just, it was a very good all-around album. But the purpose of this video is just Frankie Cosmos just released an album called Inner World Peace. She's released the last couple albums, I think from Vessel in 2018 onward. She's been releasing these on the esteemed indie label Sub Pop, right? So I remember like shooting a Frankie Cosmos show in LA at the Echo, right? Doing video and putting the video together. I'll drop the links to everything I've shot of Frankie Cosmos in the description. I shot her at the Echo and I shot her at a festival. I think it was like the Growlers festival. But Frankie Cosmos, she was like buzzing for some time, like around that 2014 to 2016 period. And then she dropped, Vessel in 2018. That was her Sub Pop debut. I still think that Next Thing is probably her best project, even though Zentropy before that was getting a lot of positive reviews. But Frankie Cosmos, I feel like for a genre that she is in, where it's kind of like that, it's a type of indie that's not like it doesn't have the reverb style vocals of say like a Lana Del Rey, where there's like an echo, like almost like a chamber pop style to the singing, like Wise Blood. That's not Frankie Cosmos, style of indie singing. Like it's more a muted vocal that Frankie Cosmos does. And one of the things about her albums is that it's full of like a bunch of very, very short songs. Like it could be like a 1.5-minute long song, a 2-minute song. Like she's got songs about like her dog that is like a 1.5 minutes long. She's got like Outside with the Cuties, I think the name of the song is called. That's one of the songs I'll drop in the description that I shot at the Echo in 2016, the same year that Next Thing dropped. But these are different hallmarks of her music. They're short songs. They have like ear candy, like earworm, nice melodies, right? So she'll just write something that's a little bit quirky, a little bit sarcastic. Her lyricism is kind of funny, very smart writing. But a lot of these songs are like 1.5 minutes to like 2.5 minutes long, generally. Sometimes she'll go over the 3-minute mark, but generally short songs. But I feel like her sound has, I'm not going to say it's been copied, because like in 1983, you've got like Marine Girls who kind of have a similar vocal style, I thought, to their 1983 album. But if you look at how the proliferation of this style of indie with the kind of soft sung, muted vocal, maybe a little bit of instrumentation, it's a little bit acoustic, maybe with a little bit kind of synth or keyboard electronic, but it's not like, they're not belting notes, right? They're just kind of singing in kind of like a cute and quirky style. I feel like there've been a lot of artists since Frankie Cosmos was kind of, coming onto the scene between 2013 and 2016. I know Vessel, the Sub Pop debut, was 2018, but I'm looking at the kind of the sweet spot and when her name was buzzing the biggest. And if you look at some of the artists that have, really emerged since, I'm talking Phoebe Bridgers, and I get Phoebe Bridgers, there are some differences in her style and in her songwriting. But look at, I would say, Faye Webster, Lomelda, Japanese Breakfast, Kate Bollinger, Julia Jacqueline, Stella Donnelly to a lesser degree, Alice Phoebe Liu, and even Alex G. I feel like, there's a whole kind of a subgenre of indie right now that is kind of not running with the style that Frankie Cosmos pioneered or anything, but I just feel like her artistry deserves more recognition. She preceded most of these artists by like a couple of years, and I feel like their styles are almost variations of her style. Again, I'm not saying that she founded the style, but she was definitely on the bleeding edge of kind of trying to popularize that style, at least in this recent, era. I'm talking again, 2013 to 2016 up to 2018. I feel like her latest album, Close It Quietly, in 2019, it was as quiet an album release as the name of the album suggests. And I get it. Like, if you look at her social media, she's not somebody who's doing like the most when it comes to self-promotion or just trying dramatically to, you know, expand her following and her fanship and everything. But I just feel like from a musical recognition standpoint that Frankie Cosmos' style should get the recognition of these emerging Julia Jacklins and Kate Bollingers and Lomelda, Japanese Breakfast, and so forth. And especially Faye Webster. She's, you know, from Atlanta. She's from that she was on Awful Records. I don't know if she's still on Awful Records, but she's had a couple very successful indie album releases. But I feel like Frankie Cosmos, on the other hand, her name has kind of subsided to the back of the pack, where a lot of these newer artists are on the front. And I get it. You know, the young eats the old. It's the same in sports, same in music. This happens frequently. But I feel like Frankie Cosmos, there's still time and there's still a chance, you know, for her name to be on the forefront of those, we'll say, of those Spotify playlists. Like, you should be able to put in Faye Webster, and a lot of Frankie Cosmos songs should appear on, you know, Faye Webster radio, so to speak. But I just feel like she's not getting the credit or the exposure that her 2014 to 2018 work merits. But yeah, let me know if you are up on Frankie Cosmos. If you are, do you have a favorite album? Again, I am going with Next Thing. Specifically, I mean, that song, On the Lips, very good song. But she's got a lot of other good ones. Like, she had a song called Young before that. Again, very catchy, melodic earworms. Like, you could listen to that style for days. And again, you're listening to the album and the runtime just kind of breezes by because the songs are so short. But yeah, if you want to check out some of her live performances, check out the description. But let me know your overall thoughts on Frankie Cosmos, and who else do you think her music kind of sounds like or emulates, or whose music emulates how she was sounding. Let me know your overall thoughts. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you love music like I do. And by the way, again, her new album is called Inner World Peace. I haven't given it a listen yet, but I intend to. And yeah, I'll report back and we'll see if this makes, you know, my, you know, albums of 2022 list. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.